morning, YouTube. See one back in the building with another video. The work week was long. I'm glad to be back to make some more videos, making more content. You know, I miss y'all. Like, subscribe, share. Definitely let me know what y'all think in the comment section down below. And let's get to it. The topic from his complicated channel, link in the description box below. The topic is going to be, are men slave to their gender role?
And here we go.
Let's do it.
Should men have the freedom to ditch their traditional gender roles just like women do?
Yes, absolutely. Why not?
I think that it might limit them sometimes, but I feel like everyone should have freedom to do what they want to do, no matter what sex they are.
You should be able to have that freedom. Everybody should have the liberty to do whatever they want in a relationship. But is it frowned upon? Yes, for men. Yes, it is, of course.
What do you think that does to his dating options and why?
Well, they probably limits them by a significant amount if he's
Right.
looking for women, but
I prefer a traditional woman. I want to take care of you, and I want you to take care of me emotionally, and I'll take care of you financially and physically. That's me. If you ditch that, you're probably going to get with someone who doesn't give a shit about you.
Women's gender roles originally were just to stay at home and be housewives, and men were to go to work, and they're still expected to do that and provide for the family, but women aren't, in a way. You know what I mean?
So does he actually have the freedom, or do women enforce these roles based on their selections in men?
I think it's a man's choice. And women, I think naturally women probably want to procreate, and so generally would reinforce it, but if a man doesn't want to do that, then it's his choice.
I think a lot of girls expect the man to provide and work while they stay at home, and if a man doesn't want to do that, then that it decreases his options.
What do you think that does to his dating options and why?
What does it do? I mean, it probably limits them because a lot of women have a different, set boundaries. But I mean, once you find the person that is okay with it, it works.
So does he actually have the freedom, or do women enforce those roles based on their selections in men?
Probably enforce it because everyone has boundaries, but.
So do you think that men are slaves to their gender roles?
I would like to say no, but then I guess you could turn around and think, are women slaves to their gender roles as well?
Well, yeah, but do you think that a woman has to cook and clean and do all those traditional things to be with men?
That you said women have to?
No, do you think that women have to do all those traditional things to be with men?
No. No.
So then wouldn't men be more likely to be slaves to their gender roles than women?
Then probably.
Male loneliness is self-inflicted if women's mate choice still overwhelmingly rewards traditional masculinity.
Yeah, unfortunately, women want the top 5% of men, and so that leaves just 95% of men with no choices.
That's stupid. Use your common sense.
Why do women complain about a gender pay gap if men typically have to earn more money in order to be chosen by women?
Because in today's day and age, women are single mothers, they live on their own, they're lesbians, and they also need to make as much as men do.
If a man doesn't want to be the provider, protector, or initiator in dating, is that attractive?
It depends on who's, what the girl wants, but personally, yes, that's not attractive. That's I would want a man to provide. I wouldn't want him to it depends. If he's just staying at home doing absolutely nothing, I wouldn't want that.
Why are gender roles optional for women but mandatory for men?
I feel like they're optional for women because women have a idea that they don't have to do certain things if they don't want to do it. But men, you can have that same idea, but you just won't be chosen at the end of the day.
I don't think it's necessarily that way. I think that we're opening up more as a society for both roles. But yeah, probably the male traditional gender role is moving a little bit slower.
Why are gender roles optional for women but mandatory for men?
This is like waking me up. I'm not gonna lie. Like these questions are waking me up. I don't know. I couldn't answer that.
What would it look like for men to fully opt out of traditional male roles?
Well, okay, honestly, I feel like if they completely like switch sides, they would just be at home cooking, cleaning. But I think it should be equal. Like I feel like both the woman and the man should be working, providing for the household, and also cleaning up as well.
If a woman seeks independence, we call it empowerment. If a man seeks freedom from his obligations, what do we call that?
Probably laziness.
Why is there a difference?
Because a man is like seen as like he's supposed to be doing this.
Let me stop right here real quick. So, here's the thing. It is amazing how social media has conditioned people to have a thinking process that doesn't naturally work for them. It works for some people, and then some people are so focused on keeping up with the Joneses that they're not really thinking, is this really the best fit for me? You know? So the good news is women have equal rights. They have opportunities to apply to jobs, get experience, because a lot of them are going to school. A lot of them are graduating. They can graduate in any field to do any job, and most women will turn around and gravitate towards a certain type of job, right? However, the double standard falls where they don't want to do traditional roles, but still expect a man to do traditional commitments versus they don't have to. Some people, like to have their cake and eat it too, both men and women, but it doesn't work. It literally cannot work. It's not like, I don't understand why people try to get with people to take advantage of them. I don't understand that point. But in this day and age, the economy is not how it used to be with your parents. The economy is not built where it used to be for your grandparents. Not even close. So your expectations have to be more realistic with how ridiculous the economy in your country is. Like in America, in the West, this economy is, it's good and bad. Like it's good in some instances as far as people have more flexibility to earn money through things that they didn't do back in the day, like DoorDash and all this stuff. People can find, you see people have hustle and is willing to find multiple ways to get extra money. The problem is the economy, as far as food pricing, taxes, gas, stuff like that, is just so ridiculous that the only way to make it work for both of y'all, not being selfish, is to work together towards everything. That's the way it should be anyway. I think back in the day, women knew that they had more of an affinity towards this without getting into the dangers of the laws that weren't passed or making it comfortable for women to be in the workplace and all of that stuff. And guys were fulfilling a certain role, which was going to be enough to take care of the household and keep that woman safe to do certain parts, right? And there was a give and take, and it was still balanced. But there's other dynamics that work just as well. In this day and age, y'all can both work, y'all both can come home. Whether y'all have certain duties or not, y'all can just work together to just make it work, to take care of the house, to take care of each other, all of that stuff. it's really not that hard. People make it hard because they have ridiculous expectations that they should have explained to a person before getting into a serious relationship with them. You should vet people to that extent. And if they feel uncomfortable with some of the questions that you vet them with and they're reasonable, then they're not the person for you. So, to me, in my opinion, teamwork, unity is the way to make things work in this day and age in the West. I mean, in general, to be honest, but most people want to still do traditional things, even though they're not doing anything to be traditional man or a woman. They still want traditional values. They want to confuse themselves, let them confuse themselves. But for you, you have a choice to be genuine, keeping it real, because there's enough bills, there's enough tax, there's enough drama and BS everywhere else that you don't need it in your home as much as possible. All right?
Do you think men are slaves to their gender roles?
Yeah, if you want to be a good husband or a good boyfriend or whatever role you're playing in your relationship, then I feel like you have to play that role and you have to play it well.
I feel like men should be slaves to a point. I don't mean slaves in a negative way. I mean, make your woman happy, she'll make you happy. If for some reason you're not understanding the gender roles, it's probably why you're not happy, in my opinion.
Who enforces gender roles more, men or women?
I feel like women do.
How?
Women, they say that you're supposed to do this, I'm supposed to do that. And I feel like men, on the other hand, are pretty much just relaxed and laid back. Now, a lot of traditional men may enforce it, but I feel like women overall more likely to enforce those gender roles.
Why are gender roles strictly enforced in straight relationships as opposed to same-sex couples?
I'm not sure about that. I think the gays have it absolutely, they have the best situation possible. Open relationships, everyone's happy. I don't quite understand why it's different in traditional relationships.
I think
Because she don't know. Oh, Lord. So she just must be going off of what she see every day and just think they're in a great relationship, they happy together, happy-go-lucky. She has no idea, huh?
women will prefer for the man to do everything and like pay for things that need to be paid for. But when you're dating same sex as I am, it's kind of just like, oh, okay, you're paying, I'll get you next time. Okay, you're paying, you're buying me this, I'll get you next time.
When women
So why it can't be that way when it's not of the same sex? Wouldn't that just be looking out for each other?
go out with women, they'll often split the bill and hold the door open for each other. Why is it as soon as a man's involved, he has to do all the work?
I think women consider it more respectful for the man to do the things for the woman because of traditional habits.
Wouldn't it be polite and respectful for women to do all the same things for men?
Yes, like me as a woman, I do the same things for my guy friends and things like that. I think it would be a lot more respectful.
If a man ditches his gender roles, does that make him a woman?
No, I don't think it makes him a woman per se. It's just what he chooses to be.
Oh man, if you ditch your gender roles, I mean, it's literally called gender roles. If you're not doing your role as in your gender, then I guess you're not that gender anymore.
If a woman ditches her roles, does that make her a man?
No, absolutely not. No one says that.
I feel like women have more of a say-so in this because a man is more prepared to take care of himself, whereas women feel like sometimes they want to be taken care of. They don't need to be. Let's not get that twisted, but sometimes women want to be more than men.
What happens to relationships if both partners reject traditional roles?
Ooh. Then I guess we just have a completely different culture and society, and that's probably where we're moving.
If equality is the goal, should expectations decrease for everyone or increase for everyone?
I think I don't know. I think maybe decrease, and I feel like everyone should be doing the same thing.
Do we judge men more harshly for not fulfilling roles than we judge women?
Of course.
Yeah.
Why is that?
I feel like men have a certain stigma over them that if you don't do what a man is supposed to do, whatever that's supposed to mean to you, then you're not a man.
So how are men not just slaves to their gender roles?
That is true. That is very true.
What would it look like for men to fully opt out of traditional male roles?
I think you would see more men in like childcare, in traditionally feminine workforces. That'd probably be a big one.
We would have less roads and less buildings and less construction in general, less sewage, less of a lot of things that men do to build this
Less
community.
infrastructure.
Would society function differently if large numbers of men stopped protecting and providing?
Well, yes, I think it would. I mean, well, I think that women are obviously working more within the last 70 years and conforming to, what was traditionally seen as a male role. And so it's just we are constantly changing. Culture is constantly changing. Roles are constantly changing. So nothing's traditional anymore.
Do people still prefer traditional male behavior even while saying roles shouldn't matter?
Yes, I think deep down for many people they do, although I think there are parts of society that are changing, but women do appreciate assertive men. We prefer men that take care of us. Yeah, a lot of women do.
Is there a difference between what we say we believe and what we reward in practice?
Actions speak louder than words.
If a woman seeks independence, we call it empowerment. If a man seeks freedom from obligation, what do we call that?
A lot of people would like to call it cowardice.
Not attractive.
Why might those reactions be different?
It depends who you're talking to and probably where you're from.
Because if a man runs from responsibility, people see it as him running from his role. And if a woman seeks freedom, it's empowerment because, like I said earlier, other women like to stick beside other women. And a lot of men won't do that because they'll frown upon other men for doing exactly that.
What I find it to be amazing, right, is the simple fact that there are still double standards going on to this day on both sides. And the more that we understand and acknowledge the double standards and just meet each other halfway and compromise, the better life will be. Simple. But a lot of people don't want to. It's crazy how a lot of women, right, will go out here, they make amazing money, they can support their lifestyle, and still down the line, once they get older, they are still looking for somebody that makes more money than them and still will go out the way to take care of them when they have the money to take care of themselves. Deep down inside, a lot of women don't want to spend the money that they earn, but expect the guy to come along and spend the money that he might not necessarily want to spend as much all the time unless it's something that's needed. So if you have this treatment where your money is your money, you should also have a thought process that his money is his money. And both of y'all should put in a certain amount of money to be both of y'all money. And paperwork should be there in case things don't work out. And how it will work out in the shared accounts. You would take half of the shared accounts. Simple. There are ways to get around it. There's work to do, but people just don't want to do it. And it's just redundant. It's ridiculous. It can all be so simple, but a lot of people are stubborn, entitled, contradicting, and want to have their cake and eat it too. Let me know what y'all think in the comment section down below. Hopefully one day, I feel like women in some way, shape, or form try to punish men in a way for not providing and this, that, and the other, even though they have what they need to provide for. But then once a guy is starting to ask for his fill, it's a whole different story. It just, from a guy's standpoint, that seems to be unfair, ridiculous, all of that stuff. Like, I would look at you confusing if you're not a traditional woman, but expecting a traditional role. Or expecting a traditional man altogether. How you figure? If you literally can talk me through that in the comment section down below, I will read it. Like, how does that make sense? That you that don't follow traditional roles is having expectations of being taken care of traditionally and expecting the guy to do traditional things. How does that make sense? Like, you can sit there and be non-traditional all you want to in your 20s, just because you decide to live a whole different life in your 30s and 40s, does not make you traditional. Why you weren't doing that in your 20s? Especially if there's proof and a track record. Something to think about. All your actions have ripple effects, men or women. Until next time, until next video. Peace.